Yes, students, are you able to see the PPT?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. DC load line. Okay. So this we will see, and we will keep our discussion by using common emitter configuration. Right, because this configuration is most popular configuration to use a transistor in most of the cases of the amplifier, right? So suppose this is the circuit diagram of common emitter configuration used for an amplifier. This is VCC. This resistance is RC. Across this collector and emitter we have a voltage drop, that is VCE, voltage between collector and emitter. Here we have one resistance, base resistance, and here we have a battery VBB, right? So now through the collector we find a current is flowing, that is your IC. Through the base we find a current IB, and through the emitter we find a current IE. Okay, so and whatever signal we want to amplify, that signal we will apply here, right? We call it as Vs. So this Vs is signal to be amplified. Okay. So let Vs is 0, right? We have not applied any signal. Now we see this circuit. Here we have two batteries, VCC and VBB. Now what we will do, we will apply Kirchhoff's voltage law in collector to emitter loop. Right? In collector and emitter, here we will apply Kirchhoff's voltage law. So what we will get, if we move in anti-clockwise direction, then we will get VCC minus voltage across RC, that will be minus IC RC minus VCE is equal to 0, right? Or we write this expression in terms of VCE. VCE is equal to VCC minus IC RC, right? We call it as equation number 1. Now if we see how we draw the output characteristic. In output characteristic, on the x-axis we keep VCE. On the y-axis we keep IC, right? So now case 1. Let IC is 0. See, in equation 1, VCC and RC are constant. VCC and RC, they are constant. Only variables are IC and VCE. So first we will take one case when IC is 0, right? If IC is 0, then VCE will be equal to VCC, right? So this one point we will get on x-axis, and this is your VCC. Now we will see case 2. Now in case 2, let VCE is 0. If this is the case, then we will get the value of IC, and IC will be VCC divided by RC, right? From equation number 1 we will get this. So on y-axis we will get one point, that is your IC, and this will be VCC divided by RC, right? So maximum current which will flow through this circuit will be VCC by RC, and maximum voltage across the collector and emitter, that is VCE, will be equal to VCC. And if we join these 2 points, then this is your DC load line. This is your DC load line. Right? Okay. Now we see another thing, operating point. Right? Or we call it as a Q point. Or another name to this operating point is quiescent point. Or another name is silent point. So these are the various names of operating point or Q point or quiescent point or silent point. Right? So what is this? So this is the value of IC and VCE in a transistor when no external signal is applied. Means silent. When the transistor is silent. Silent means when this Vs, we have not applied any external signal for the amplification. At that time, what are the various values of IC and VCE? That is your operating point. Okay. So suppose this is VCE, this is IC, okay, and this is the DC load line. So now if you see this circuit diagram, in this circuit diagram, due to VBB, you will find some IB is there, right? The value of, there is some value of the IB. If you draw the output characteristic of that IB like this, if there is some value IB, right, then the point where this curve cut the DC load line, this is called as Q point of your operating point, right? At this point you will have some value of VCE and you will have some value of IC. So now what will happen? This is called as operating point because this point may shift, may move only in this DC load line. It will not move at any other place, right? If VCE is decreased, then it may come to this point, or it may come to this point, or it may, if VCE is increased, it will come to this point or this point, but it will vary only, it will move along this DC load line, right? So the, since the operation of this transistor is along this DC load line, this operating point is moving along this DC load line. So due to this region also it is called as operating point. Okay. Now suppose there is one example. Draw DC load line and determine Q point of given circuit. And circuit is like this. This is VCC, which is equal to 12 volt. This is RC, which is equal to 4K. And here some IB is flowing. Some battery is there, right? And at this input side, we have connected no signal. No signal is there. So we have to find the Q point of the given circuit Now here given is IB, which is flowing in this circuit is 40 microampere, and the beta of this transistor is also given, and it is 50. Right? Now we have to draw the DC load line of this. Right? So DC load line. Right? So here if you apply the KVL in the collector and emitter loop, then we get the expression VCC minus IC RC minus VCE is equal to 0. Right? Already we have written in last slide, and in terms of VCE, this is VCC minus IC RC. Right? So first case, if IC is 0, then VCE will be equal to VCC, or VCE is your 12 volt. Right? And in case 2, what we will do? We will make VCE 0. If VCE is 0, then we will get IC is equal to VCC by RC. Okay, and this will be VCC is 12 volt and RC is 4K. So 4K in terms of ohm, I will write 4 into 10 raised to the power 3 ohm. So this will be 3 milliampere. Right? So this is the DC load line now. is VCE and IC and this point, this line. And here on x-axis, it has a value of 12 volt. On y-axis, it has a value of 3 milliampere. Right? This is the DC load. Okay. Now we will find out the operating point. That is Q point. See, whatever value of IC you are getting, 3 milliampere, this will be the maximum current which can flow through this circuit, right? So for Q point, this is not the Q point value. So for Q point, what we will do, what is the current which is flowing in this circuit IC? So what we will do, we know that beta is equal to IC by IB, right? We know beta, we know IB, therefore we can get IC. Therefore IC is equal to beta IB, right? And what we will get, IB is 4 microampere, beta is 50. So if you multiply, then it will be IB, you keep IB 40, right? IB is 40 microampere. So this will give you 2000 microampere, or it will be 2 milliampere, right? IC value we got. See, Q point will be somewhere here, which will have some value of IC and which will have some value of VCE. This is your Q point. This is your Q point. So for this Q point, we got the value of IC, and this will be 2 milliampere, right? And now we find the value of VCE. So what is VCE? VCE is VCC minus IC RC. So VCC is 12 volt minus IC is 2 milliampere multiplied by 4K, right? So if you will solve this, then you are going to get a value of 4 volt. So this is 4 volt. So this is so here you will get 4 volt, right? So this is the operating point. Okay. Now we will see thermal run away. thermal runaway. Okay. See, one expression in last class we derived, if you recall, expression of collector current in case of common emitter transistor. In last class we derived, and that is IC is equal to beta IB plus 1 by 1 minus alpha I CBU. Right? Now, okay, I call it as expression number 1. And also we know that relation between alpha and beta. So beta is equal to alpha by 1 minus alpha. This is our equation number 2. Right. So now in equation number 2, what I will do in left hand side and right hand side of 2, we will add 1. So what we will get? Beta plus 1 is equal to alpha by 1 minus alpha plus 1, or this will be equal to alpha plus 1 minus alpha by 1 minus alpha. Right? So minus alpha and plus alpha will be cancelled out. Write it properly. Yes. So what we will get? Beta plus 1 is equal to 1 by 1 minus alpha. I call it as equation number 3. Now beta plus 1 is equal to 1 minus alpha. This beta plus 1 I will put here in equation number 1 in place of 1 by 1 minus alpha. Therefore, from 1 and 3, what we will get? IC is equal to beta IB plus beta plus 1 I CBU. This is my expression number 4. This. Okay. Now from this expression number 4, now suppose we are having some transistor in our circuit diagram and we are operating that circuit diagram. So since current IC is flowing in the circuit, right? So you can see this. Suppose this is our circuit diagram. In this circuit diagram, some IC current is flowing. Right here, some IC is flowing. Now, due to this flow of the current, there is some resistance is there, so power will be dissipated. I square R, IC square and some resistance. So this power will generate the heat. And due to heat, what will happen? Transistor will heat up. And if the transistor will heat up, then due to that heat, the covalent bonds will break due to this thermal energy. More covalent bonds will break. And if more covalent bonds will break, then electron and hole pairs will be generated. This means now minority carriers will also be generated now, right? If it is a NPN, if it is a N material, then whole type of minority carrier, and if it is a P type, then electron type of minority carriers will be generated. Now, so one thing you understand, when current will flow, IC will flow through the circuit, then heat will be generated. This heat will raise the temperature of transistor, which cause more number of minority carriers. So now if minority carrier will be more, then you see the expression number 4, ICBO. What is this? This is the leakage current. This current is due to the minority carrier. So this current will increase when the temperature will increase for any transistor. So if leakage current will increase, then what is the effect on IC? IC current? Beta plus 1. See, you keep the IB constant. IB is constant, beta is constant. But ICBO is increased. So IC will increase beta plus 1 times of ICBO. So now the value of IC is increased. Now if IC is increased, again more amount of heat will be generated. Now if more heat will be generated, then again the leakage current will increase. So if the leakage current ICBO increase, then beta plus 1 times of that IC will increase. So now what will happen? This is a cumulative process. Continuously IC will keep on increasing, right? Due to rise in temperature, leakage current is increasing, and due to that IC is increasing. So IC is keep on increasing. And if IC is keep on increasing, then there will be more heat generation, right? So what will happen at one point of time, due to the excessive heat, the transistor will burn out, and this is called as thermal runaway. This is the self-destruction of the transistor due to the rise in IC, right? So what is thermal runaway? It is the self-destruction of the transistor. Self-destruction of the transistor due to the excessive heat. This is thermal runaway, right? Okay. So now we have now another thing you just see. If suppose you are using some transistor and that transistor is having certain problem, so what technicians will do, they replace the transistor of the circuit with the same transistor number. But what happen, beta may change of the two same transistor. Beta will not exactly same, because see, we cannot control the exact number of the atoms in a transistor. How much doping we are doing in a transistor, that is means you cannot say. If you are manufacturing two same type of transistor, each transistor will have exactly same number of p material, same number of atoms of the n material, same number of atom of the collector, because you cannot control exactly these numbers, because controlling of this is a very difficult process during the manufacturing, right? So what will happen, due to the slight variation of these atoms, the beta will differ, and if beta will differ, then the value of IC will also change. So what we have to do, we have to uh, do the stabilization. Stabilization means uh, uh, if IC is increasing or if beta is changing, then also your operating point should not change. It should remain same. So now there is one term called as stability factor. S, right? Stability factor S. So what is this? It is rate of change in IC with respect to the change in leakage current. Current, that is ICBO, and this can also be written as in some books you can find it ICO, right? Leakage current is written by ICO. Okay. At constant IB or beta, right? So stability factor is equal to rate of change in IC, DIC, by rate of change in leakage current, ICO, at constant IB or beta. So you see this expression number 4. IC is equal to beta IB plus beta plus 1 ICBO. So beta and IB are constant. So how much is the change in IC with respect to the change in leakage current ICBO? So that ratio is called as stability factor, right? So now we find expression for S. We find expression for S, right? So IC is equal to beta IB plus beta plus 1 ICO, right? So now what I will do, I will differentiate this expression with respect to IC. So differentiate equation with respect to IC. So what we will get here, left hand side I will get 1, then this side beta DIB by DIC plus beta plus 1 DICO by DIC. Okay. So simply I will rewrite this equation in this way. Beta DIB by DIC plus beta plus 1 by DIC by DICO. Right, you see this expression. Only what I made the change. See here. Here it is written DICO by DIC. So this simply I have written in this way, 1 by DIC by DICO. It is exactly same, right? How I have written in last expression. So now this one is equal to beta DIB by DIC plus beta plus 1 by S. So this DIC by DICO is stability factor S. So this, right? And this expression I will write in this way, beta plus 1 by S is equal to 1 minus beta DIB by DIC. Okay. And I will write this expression in a reciprocal way, means S by beta plus 1, and this is equal to 1 by 1 minus beta DIB by DIC. Simply what I have done, suppose here it is X, so I have written it as 1 by X, right? So here this is beta plus 1 by S. So in this way, if I write in reciprocal way, then it will be S by beta plus 1. And right hand side, 1 minus beta DIB by DIC will be written as 1 by 1 minus beta DIB by DIC. And with this, I will multiply beta plus 1 denominator section of this left hand side towards the right hand side. So this will be beta plus 1 divided by 1 minus beta DIB by DIC. So this is the expression of the stability factor, right? This is the expression of stability factor. Now we will see the biasing method. First method we will see base resistor biasing. Right? It is also called as fixed bias. Fixed biasing. Now the circuit diagram for this fixed biasing is like this. Here we will connect one battery VCC, right? Positive terminal of the battery will be connected here. This resistor is RC, this resistor is RB. Okay. So in this collector terminal, one current is flowing IC, Here this is ground. And voltage across collector and emitter, it is VCE. Right? Here you will find a current IB. And between base and emitter, here you will find a voltage drop, and that will be V, voltage between base and emitter. This side it is positive and this side it is negative. Right, so VBE for a silicon transistor is 0.7 volt and for germanium it is 0.3 volt. Okay, now what we will do, we will apply KVL. In base and emitter loop. Right, base and emitter. So how base and emitter will look like? It looks like this. This is plus VCC, right? Plus VCC means you can think in this way. This is your VCC. Right? This is RB. This is IB. And here you have voltage drop, VBE. This side positive and this side negative. So you apply this KVL here. In this way, if we move, then what we will get? VCC minus IB RB minus VBE is equal to 0. Okay. And if I write this expression in terms of IB, then IB will be equal to VCC minus VBE by RB. Right? So now here you see in this expression IB is equal to VCC. VCC is a constant. VBE is also a constant. It is 0.7 volt for a silicon and 0.3 volt for a germanium. It is also a constant. Divide by RB. RB is a constant. So here the value of IB is fixed, right? Due to VCC, which is a fixed, due to VBE, that is a fixed, due to RB, which is a fixed. So value of IB is fixed. And since value of IB is fixed, so it is also called as fixed biasing circuit, right? Fixed biasing circuit. So its name came from this IB. IB is fixed, or base resistor biasing. From the base, one resistor is connected IB, right? So IB is fixed. Now if IB is fixed, now since IB is constant, therefore rate of change in IB with respect to change in IC will be zero, right? Now since the expression of stability factor, you can see here this expression S is beta plus 1 divided by 1 minus beta DIB by DIC. Now since S is beta plus 1 divided by 1 minus beta DIB by DIC, therefore S will be equal to beta plus 1 divided by 1 minus 0, because dIB by DIC is 0. So here S will be beta plus 1. This is the value of the stability factor in case of in fixed biased circuit. Fixed bias circuit. So somebody asked what is the value of what is the expression of S in fixed biased circuit. So you can derive in this way, right? Draw the circuit diagram, see the KVL in the base emitter loop, then find the value of IB, and from here you can say IB is constant. Since IB is constant, this due to this dIB by DIC is also constant, right? And from stability factor, S will be beta plus 1. Okay. Now we see one example. For a fixed biased circuit, shown below, draw DC load line and find Q point. And circuit is this. This is VCC and its value is 9 volt. This is RC, its value is 3K. This is RB, its value is 830K. And beta of this transistor is given. Beta is 100. Okay. So first we'll draw the DC load line. So for DC load line, you write the KVL in the outside in collector and emitter loop for DC load line. So you get the expression VCE is equal to VCC minus IC RC, right? So first case, let IC is equal to 0. So due to this, what we will get? VCE is equal to 9 volt. Next case, what we will do? Let VCE is 0. So we will get the value of IC. IC is equal to VCC divided by RC, and this will be VCC is 9 volt, RC is 3K. So if you will solve this, then you will get 3 milliampere, right? So we got the DC load line. So on x-axis we have VCE, y-axis we have IC, and we got this line. So here on x-axis this is 9 volt, and here it is 3 milliampere. So this we got, right? Now we have to find the operating point, right? So operating point means 1 minute. One minute. This slide is saving. Okay. See, we already got this DC load line. Nine volt, and how much is the 3 milliampere? Right? So operating point will be somewhere here in this, right? So this operating point, we have to find the value of IC and VCE. On x-axis we are having VCE. So for that, first what we will do, we will find the value of IB, and by using, and beta is known, so beta IB, from that we will get IC. So now what we will do, we will apply KVL in base emitter loop, right? So we will get VCC minus IB RB minus VBE is equal to 0, right? See this circuit diagram here, right? Like this type of circuit you can draw: VCC, IB, RB, and VBE. So this here. So now from this expression, I will write the value of IB as VCC minus VBE divided by RB. So since in this question it is not given what type of transistor is this, so you can neglect VBE. If it is given that it is a silicon transistor, then VBE you put in this expression as 0.7. If germanium is given, then in place of VBE you can put 0.3. But nothing is mentioned in this question, right? I have given the question for a fixed bias circuit shown below, draw the DC load line. So I have not mentioned here what type of transistor is this. So what we can do, we can neglect now because its value is very small, 0.7. or 0.3, neglect VBE, right? So IB will be VCC by RB. So you put these values. VCC is your 9 volt. 9 volt divided by RB. RB is 830K. 830K. With this, you find out the value of IB. You find out the value of IB. So in this case, I have already solved this. So it will be G10. You can solve in your house 10.84 microampere. Okay. Now, since beta is IC by IB, therefore we will get the value of IC, and this will be beta IB. Beta is already given in this circuit, it is 100. So it will be 100 multiplied by 10.84 microampere. So you solve it and write the equation, write the value in milliampere. So you will get 1.08 milliampere. This is the value of IC. Right? Now, once you get the value of IC, then what you have to do, you apply KVL in collector emitter loop. Right? So what we will get? We will get VCE is equal to VCC minus IC RC. And here you put the value of VCC 9 volt minus IC. Already we have calculated 1.08 milliampere multiplied by the value of RC. RC in this circuit diagram is 3K. So you put it 3K. So write the current in ampere, write the resistance in ohm, and solve this expression. So here I have already solved it, and I will get 5.76 volt. So your operating point will be 1.08 milliampere and 5.76 volt. This is the answer for the operating point. Okay. So in this way you can solve. And suppose third part is also asked in this question, what is the value of stability factor S? So in this, S will always be 1 plus beta. Right? We have already solved this. Stability factor in fixed by circuit is this. So beta is 100. So it will be 101 in this particular example. Okay. Right. Now another biasing method is feedback resistor. Biasing. Right. So circuit diagram for this feedback resistor biasing will be like this. Here it is battery VCC. This is RC register. And now what will be done from here? One feedback register is taken, is connected, and this is connected to the base. And this register we call it as RB, right? So this side current is IB. Here the current is IC. So here you will find current is IB plus IC, and here current is IE, right? And between base and emitter you will find a voltage drop VBE plus minus. This is the circuit diagram of fixed biased, this feedback register biasing. So now what we will do, we will apply here the we'll apply KVL. In base emitter loop. We are finding expression for stability. We are finding expression for stability. So apply KVL in the base emitter loop, right? So see this circuit in the base emitter loop, like this. You apply like this KVL. You move like this, right? So the expression you will get VCC minus IB plus IC RC. Here voltage drop across this RC. What you will get? IB plus IC multiplied by this RC. And voltage drop across RB. What you will get? This IB into RB. So this only I am writing here. So then IB RB minus VBE is equal to 0. So I will bring the expression in terms of IB, right? So this will be VCC minus IB RC minus IC RC minus IB RB minus VBE is equal to 0. So this will be VCC minus, I want to bring the expression in terms of IB. So I will take IB common, minus IB, then within bracket I will write IC plus RC plus RB, then minus IC RC minus VBE is equal to 0. So IB RC plus RB will be equal to VCC minus IC RC minus VBE, right? And IB will be equal to VCC minus IC RC minus VBE divide by RC plus RB. Right, this expression we got. So what I will do, I will write this expression in this way also. IB is equal to VCC by RC plus RB minus RC by RC plus RB IB minus VBE by RC plus RB. Right? This we will get. Now what I will do, I will differentiate this expression with respect to IC. So differentiate with respect to IC. So what we will get in the left side, I will get D IB by D IC, and this will be equal to, now see the first term here on this VCC by RC plus RB. VCC is constant, RC is a constant, and RB is constant. So the differentiation of this with respect to IC will give you 0. So this is 0. Then here next term IB is there. So differentiation of this with respect to IC. So here here this is IC. See here, this is IC. So differentiation of second term with respect to IC will give you minus RC by RC plus RB. So this will be minus RC by RC plus RB, right? And the third term, VBE is constant, RC is constant, RB is constant. So this third term is also a 0. So minus 0. So what we will get, D IB by D IC is equal to minus RC by RC plus RB. This is the value of DIB by DIC. And since already we know that expression for the stability factor S is beta plus 1 divided by 1 minus beta D IB by DIC. This expression already we know that. See, already we have calculated, we have derived this expression where yes, this S is equal to beta plus 1 divided by 1 minus beta DIB by DIC. So here in this expression, what I will do, I will put the value of DIB by DIC this. So what we will get, S is equal to beta plus 1 divided by 1. Now here minus DIB by DIC is minus RC by RC plus 1. So here you will get plus beta RC by RC plus RB. Okay, so now here you just see one thing. Beta plus 1 is divided by some value, right? Beta plus 1 is divided by some number. So one thing is clear, S is less than beta plus 1, right? Because in numerator we are having beta plus 1 and in denominator 1 plus beta into something. So beta plus 1 is divided by something, definitely beta S will be less than beta plus 1. So here one thing is clear, the stability factor is less than beta plus 1. Whereas in case of fixed bias, stability factor is 1 plus beta. So stability factor in feedback resistor biasing is less than beta plus 1, means less than fixed biasing circuit. So this will be better than previous circuit because value of S should be as less as possible, right? It should be as low as possible, right? Okay, so I will stop here.